Late Night City with Pete Price on Radio City 96.7 and City Talk 105.9.
Just wait! Wait, it's coming on now. God bless us. I've been plagued all night by dogs. Dogs. I've now got, goodness knows how many people on Twitter who are dogs twittering me. That's it. Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
And now, my story. Real people, real stories.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, I'm always very respectful to anybody I interview, especially if they've got a book or a story to tell us. I'm a bit bemused by this lady. She sounds very nice, but I'm a little bit bemused. So let's say first of all, hello to Heather Nesbitt. Hello, Heather.
Hello, Peter.
The book is called Help My Dogs on Twitter, The Ramblings of Harry the Spaniel. Now, you can imagine why I'm a little bit perplexed by this.
I can imagine indeed, yes. It's a very unusual book.
So, is there such a word? Help me, I need help on this. Why and what is this book about?
Well, why I wrote the book, although Harry will say obviously that he wrote it, last year I became ill and wasn't allowed to do anything, basically. And my business had a Twitter account, and while I was sat there, I thought, I wondered if dogs had Twitter accounts too. So I set Harry up a Twitter account, and lo and behold, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of dogs all over the world that have Twitter accounts and talk to each other on Twitter. And shortly after that, Harry gets up to all kinds of things and makes lots of jokes on Twitter. And an idea to write a book about it popped into my head one day, and that is how the book came about. And it's a book, as it says, it's Help My Dogs on Twitter. The first chapter would be the puppy stage, where it helps other dogs or other animals that are on Twitter to find their feet or find their paws. And then there are stories in there about what Harry gets up to on a day-to-day basis, and there's also interviews in the book with some dogs and humans that Harry has encountered along the way. So it's a bit of light-hearted fun.
Now, tell me, on a serious note, when you went to the publishers and said, I've got this idea for a book, tell me exactly what happened in that meeting.
Well, we've ended up having to self-publish, to be honest with you, Pete, because people didn't quite get it. It has been distributed well over 1,000 times since the beginning of December all over the world, but publishers in this country just didn't get it, so we decided to self-publish.
Now, we are a nation of animal lovers. Sadly, there's awful people out there that seem to be cruel to animals, which makes me really, really angry.
Yeah.
And if we ever do a story about animals on my phone straight away the phones go. Why do you think there are such or why do you think there is such a split divide with animal lovers and animal haters?
I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. Funnily enough, you mentioned about animals, animal haters. Harry's just started, apart from his Spaniel Harry Twitter feed, he started doing videos, light-hearted videos. The first one was to his fiancée, Summer Hollett. You'll find her on Twitter as well. And he gets asked to retweet quite a lot about dogs that have been stolen or things that have happened to dogs, or to highlight issues with dogs and other animals. And he has started doing videos. One was uploaded yesterday and has had over 400 hits, and that's to do with animals that have been stolen. And they're all done by him. I don't know why there is such a huge divide. I mean, there's obviously, you've got the grey area in the middle where people, they're not adverse to animals, but they don't quite understand what love there is between a human and animals, and other people who do hideous things to animals. I think that's probably a power thing, in my own opinion.
I believe, and I'm using this, and I'll always use this as a serious note to talk on, because it makes me angry, cruelty to animals, but I do believe that if somebody is cruel to an animal, they will go on to the next stage and be cruel to a human being.
Yeah, I would imagine that. I think sometimes people like that probably don't realise their own boundaries. My previous job, I was a police officer previously, and I've come across incidents of animal cruelty in that line of work, and it's something that I can never, ever understand or fathom why somebody would want to do that.
Yeah. Tell me, Harry, does Harry speak on the videos?
No, Harry doesn't speak on them. What Harry does is he gets lots and lots of photos sent to him, or as he would say, picfurs, to him. And what he does is he uploads those pictures on there, and he chooses the music. And we put together the one that we did last night. It would say at the beginning to people, you know, please look out for these animals that are missing or have been stolen, and put the contact details of who people should go to if they spot them. He's also done one for animals that have found their forever homes. Again, people sent in. I mean, he has had hundreds and hundreds of photos sent to him to his email, asking for him to do it. And then he does interviews as well, funnily enough, on his blog, and his spanielharry.wordpress.com blog. And he interviews animals, whether they're rabbits or cats or dogs, and he asks them all different types of questions on there as well, and humans as well, to get a full mix of what everyone's up to and what their opinions are.
Anybody's just joined me. Stop pinching yourself. I'm talking to Heather Nesbitt. The book is called Help My Dog's on Twitter, The Ramblings of Harry the Spaniel. In the real world, which of course he is, what's he like as a dog?
He was 3 yesterday. He is a fun dog who has naughty times. He's got a habit of stealing things from the washing basket. In fact, if you check out the blog, we did one which BT liked, where he had handed a pair of pants to the BT man, which was slightly embarrassing for him. He has his naughty moments as well, where he won't come back when he's called, as most animals can be like that. He's just gone through 2 major operations on his back leg, so he's just recovering from that as well. And he's just very, very loving. He's got a sister called Maggie, who's a rescue dog, who he adores to bits. And he's just a really beautiful, soft, gentle dog who we love totally.
Do you think that if he was to realise what you're doing with Harry and this persona you've built up around Harry, how do you think he'd react if he was in the human world and thought, Heather's losing it a bit?
I think he would probably nod his head, to be honest with you, Pete, and go, yeah, that's me. All of the stories, everything that is in the blog or in the book or on Twitter, they are all things that Harry does. They're all born from Harry's personality. So he's really, although I'm his typist, he really is the brains behind the operation, so to speak, because everything that is put on Twitter and put in the book and on the WordPress site is Harry. It's just me, obviously, typing for him. I mean, even in the back of the book, he's done a translation section for humans to be able to translate the book, because the book is written in dog speak.
Heather, in the real world, as you know, you have dogs. There are human beings out there listening to this program now that prefer the company of animals any day to human beings. And when they lose their animals, it is a grieving process that is as long, if not longer, than some humans. Why do you think that is?
Animals become very much part of the family unit. Animals almost become the children or the extended children of the family unit. I've lost a cat. In fact, she died the day that Harry was born, and I'd had her from the age of 19, and it didn't just affect me and my immediate family, but the other cat that was in the house got very depressed, and was missing, to all intents purposes, his sister. When we got Harry, then William came back out of that depression because he had another playmate, so to speak. I think unless people have had an animal, Pete, they probably wouldn't understand the bond that there is between an animal that gives you unconditional love than never having had an animal.
Yeah. As a police officer, when you were a police officer, did you ever think in a billion years, not a million, a billion years, you would write a book called Help, My Dog's on Twitter, The Ramblings of Harry the Spaniel?
No. Not at all. I think having been ill and having been so ill, and incidentally the dogs actually were highlighting how seriously ill I was. Their total personality changed around me. And I think that was a blessing in disguise, if I'm being honest, because I have met the most phenomenal people and the most phenomenal animals that I could ever have hoped to meet. I mean, Harry, Spaniel Harry, he's got nearly 1,900 followers now on Twitter, which is more than most companies actually would have. And they are just amazing. On his birthday yesterday, he had nearly 300 happy birthday messages. He's had birthday presents sent to him, birthday cards sent to him from all these people and these animals. And it is just so heartwarming and lovely that people take the time to do that.
What is his Twitter account?
It's at Spaniel Harry.
At Spaniel Harry.
Yeah.
Simple as that. What do you want people to take from this book?
I want people to enjoy it, to see the fun that it is, to laugh. People say that it makes them laugh out loud. I've had emails from people that say that they have lost an animal, or even some emails where I've had people have lost a member of the family and have had Harry's book, and it's what they've needed at a certain point on a day to make them laugh, to take them out of that grieving process. And certainly the people that have lost animals have said, you know, it brings back the memories of their own pets.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's writing the next one as well. We keep getting people asking, when's the next one coming out, when's the next one coming out? So he's pouring the next one, so to speak. So
tell us what the book's called.
The book is called Help, My Dog's on Twitter. It's a dog's guide to Twitter and life in general.
Heather Nesbitt, thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much, Pete.